everyone, Papercut here, back with another installment of Learn with a Beginner. Now, unfortunately, because of scheduling issues and life in general, Amazon and I cannot continue the series as we initially wanted to, but I didn't want to just drop it completely. So I am now changing it and repurposing it to it still going over ideas with people, but in this case, I'm going to be using clips from my coaching sessions, which are usually with people who sit anywhere from silver to low platinum. The goal of these clips are going to be to explore things I see people struggle with a lot in coaching sessions, and to have that visual aid and to have that like real person working through it with me, which I know people have really enjoyed about Learn with a Beginner. Now at the same time, I still have my AoE 4 school playlist and videos, and I'm going to keep doing those because those are very focused, very specific deep dives that have a lot of thought put into them. And so you'll often see I might do a Learn with a Beginner about an idea and then really deep dive it on AoE 4 school. Especially you're going to see that for today's topic, which is defending. Trumbull, who you're going to see in the clips in a second, is a French player who's low plat, high gold, and he likes to do a 2TC build, which he really struggles when his opponent goes fast castle, especially on small maps. And the reason being is because he was struggling to defend. So you're going to see us talk through the thought process of defending and then seeing it play out in his videos. And I hope you find that helpful to you if you find defending, especially in this very aggressive meta we're in right now, is something that you're struggling with. Enjoy. Now, I really do want to discuss this TC placement. Now, here's what you should have done. Stay right outside TC range and just kind of... you could just put on...
loiter.
Yeah, just loiter. Because if he sees this, he's not going to come back out. And that cuts off a food source. That won't stop him from going fast castle, but that slows him down. And makes him burn through his sheep faster, which is good because then he has to leave his base faster.
Yeah.
So just loiter. And then when your scout gets back, you can try raiding the wood line. But... I want to talk TC placement. So, no matter if your goal is feudal aggression or Russian castle, you're going to need a lot of food. And so you said, well, man, I could have gone here. You somehow exactly missed your deer. This is actually pretty wild how your scout literally missed the spot for food. But yes, TC here would have been great. Stone, I'm breaking lumber, deer, but I think there's an even better spot, and that spot's this. Check this shit out. You got a boar, deer, gold, wood.
That's worth like the walk.
It is.
Like,
here's why.
So
it's 2,000 food, another 350, like a shit ton. And here's what really sells it is that you set up the TC here on berries and gold, and then you're gonna walk the villagers over there anyway.
Oh yeah.
So honestly, the thought process is if you're gonna walk villagers over there without wheelbarrow anyway, you might as well drop the TC over there and get huge value because that TC is a tower. It protects those resources. You then produce right onto it, and it becomes kind of a safety valve. If he rushes that and you can also kind of block. You could wall here. And then this TC kind of becomes a safety valve. So if he rushes your main TC, you can be on gold here. If he rushes this, you can defend it and send units over, and it acts as a tower, and you can play around that. Now that is dangerous, right? Like this puts this TC kind of on an island, but it's the risk reward.
Right.
If when I go 2TC on this on Cliffside, the boar always spawns next to deer. And if I 2TC on Cliffside, I'm taking this. It's worth the walk. It's really not that long. It is, but it's like the value you get from it is massive. This would power your production through a huge amount of your feudal aggression into castle and farther. Like this is so valuable.
In a game after this, that's exactly what I did, and I even lost the TC. I didn't lose the villagers. I lost the TC, and it was still won that game
because the insane food gathering. And you go out here, which is great too, but like that's like when you're talking about beating a fast castle, that sort of resource jump is massive. Now this tower is helpful because it protects your gold. I mean this town center is helpful because it protects your gold, but you could have walled here, and your gold's protected. Or a tower. So it didn't lose you the game, but it did put you behind resource wise. Once again, showing great early macro as you're dropping barracks. And what? And actually, here, let me rephrase this. Your fork in the road moment was when you know he's going fast castle, going to TC. You have to decide: do I still try feudal aggression or do I rush castle? Mm-hmm. And it seemed like you rushed castle yourself, which is okay.
Yeah, I hadn't made the connection that it was fast castle until I really saw the gate being built. And I was like, oh, now it's sort of fast castle.
Yeah, and that's why. And bringing your scout background, you saw 6 on gold. That's fast castle.
Yeah.
Which Japanese fast castle is not the fastest castle in the world. Like Ayubi fast castle is fucking fast. They get this shit up in no time. But you could have gone aggression and stopped it, because even if he gets age up, you could have come in with 4 knights, 5 archers, pushed him off gold, and then he can't make gold units. And so even if he hits castle, you could have still pushed him off of it and kept him basically quote unquote in feudal, because he doesn't have the gold to upgrade things. One of the weaknesses of doing fast castle is that they have to pull villagers from somewhere to make it. If they pull it off wood, they can't make protection. If they pull it off food, they can't make units. If they pull it off gold, they can't upgrade things. So like, you force him off gold makes it so he still plays feudal in a way, and then you just block him from going relics or sneaking out to a different gold mine, and then you either build up units and win with a feudal push, or you just keep him in his base and then you hit castle and then you finish the game. But that's really the fork in the road moment, is, oh, he's going fast castle, he's putting a tower, he's walling up, he definitely wants to protect gold and go fast castle. I see 6 villagers on there. Do I rush castle or do I also go aggressive? And here's the key with this, because once you make the decision, it leads to branching path decisions after that. So let's say you want to still go feudal. What do you need to build?
I need to get archery ranges up.
Archery ranges? What upgrades do you need?
The ram thing.
Siege engineering. So that means that you're going to keep your villagers split heavily between wood and food, and enough on gold to get siege engineering and keep making knights. And you're going. And all your resources are done to do that. If you decide I'm rushing castle, and you have to admit he will probably get the castle before you, because you have to do double the amount of villagers, and you have to catch up to his resources because you spent resource in TC. What do you need to do?
It's just really heavy food and gold, I guess.
But so you know he's going to get there first, you have to defend. What are you going to have to make?
Whatever I scout his production is, like.
Sure.
Yes.
So
this is where I do sort of falter, because I'm not actually totally sure.
That's right. That's why we're doing this, right? So there's a few things you should do. One, you are keeping your scout moving and you're checking. You need to figure out what's the first production he drops. And you mirror that. So if he drops stables, you're dropping barracks and getting a few spearmen out. And emphasis is on a few. If he goes barracks, you just make a few more knights, and you get archery range down, and you're making a few archers, and then you make crossbows the second you hit castle. But you're mirroring. But then you need to, what I call, buy time. Your goal is that you have to slow him down so that you can get castle and get units out, because you're banking on your increased villagers to power you through. Even if you lose units, even if you lose villagers, your extra villagers will do that, but you need to slow them down. So then you need to focus on key walling areas. Wall here. And the problem with Cliffside is has so many openings, but you could have walled here, 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 and completely shut down this side of the map.
Yeah, that would have really changed my fate, I think.
And then you could have walled here. And it would have been hard to wall everything. That's a lot of wood. But even if you funneled him through one spot, that would have made it way easier to predict with your spears and just keep him there. Even if you think, I can't get to all those spots, well, then wall the outside of your base here. So you could have walled here, 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 so that he could only come through here. And that's a lot easier to predict. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like,
I need to be more preemptive with the walls to
exactly.
save myself the mental strain. Because doing it in the fight, walling in the fight, it feels
it's way harder.
Make bad decisions, yeah. Because I decided to do the whole right side, and I was trying to do it mid-stress, and it just did not the right call.
And there's so much that can go wrong in that. One night, they send on a loop around, kills a villain, and then all of a sudden your entire back of your economy is dead. So the key thing is you see fast castle, and the first thing you should go is, he's going to beat me there. I'm going to go castle too. I need to get up walls, or maybe a key tower here and there if I can't get up all my walls. But I do that now because him trying to burn that down, you can repair it with a villager. If you get out a couple spears, you can run over and kill the knights. If it's men at arms, you can definitely repair the wall through that. It just buys you so much more time to prepare for that. So this knight's basically donezo. You either could bring it back to base, or you could just run it over to this gold mine, so that eventually when he leaves and goes gold, your knight kills 2 villagers before he realizes.
Yeah.
That's like cheeky little thing to do, is that you have a low health military unit in the back of their base. Just put it on a predictable resource they're going to go to at some point, and then it'll pay off later in the game. But see how powerful this would be if the TC had been here from the get-go.
Yeah, that would have been insane. Yeah.
You would be at probably 800, 900 food at this point, going straight into castle.
Yeah, and I said about berries. It felt, yeah.
Berries are, it's bad.
Yeah.
It feels bad. But I do like the aggressiveness, because one thing you have to do is you have to take risks. And you get villagers out. You could have put more villagers out here, and you should have just gone straight to the boar.
Yeah, my berry guy should be there, basically.
Yeah, and yeah, your berry guy should be there and tiring it. You were late on wheelbarrow, but you did get survival techniques, which is great. You hit a good castle timing, but this is like the key moment here, because this is his time. He has to do damage here and throw you off your game. You have, and we already talked about this, you have no idea what he's going, but man, almost all the, unless they are Ayubids, because the Ghulams are so good, but even then they do this with Camel Lancers. 80% of the time if someone rushes castle, they're going knights. Because of the one-shot kill ability on villagers, because of they can get all over the map, that sort of stuff. So
gotcha.
So you do get some initial walls.
I sort of had like a thing in my brain, just like on French, I don't build a barracks, I guess, but I really should just drop that, I guess.
You should.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, like, I think you're gonna fall into the trap where he forces you. He basically plays the game you're supposed to play, which is you push with knights. He has to make spears. You make archers, and then you're winning. He does that to you. He makes you build spears. He then builds archers. He then he actually does to you what you want to do to him.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's why I say a few spears. You don't want to get caught in the trap of making 20 spears, and all of a sudden he's now on samurai and archers, and you die. That sucks.
Right.
But what you could do is make 3 or 4 while you get your walls up, and then by the time you hit castle, if you just pump Arbitraire.
Right.
And if you get enough and you start one-shotting him, then he can't build his mass. And then also, a small thing, you rush castle, and that's well and good, but yeah, you wanted to try to stop the relic pickup. So sitting your knight here to stop these relics would have been huge. And maybe getting out one more knight, so one knight on each side to just stop the relic gather, would have been immense. But he's just tanking Arrowfire right now. And what sucks is that since you got your barracks up so early, you're making Dark Age Spearmen at first.
Yeah.
Which his knights can literally just beat.
Yeah.
But keep perspective here. This feels bad right now, but you have 57 villagers, and he has 33.
What? Wait, 33?
Yes, because you are French on 2TC. You're making villagers every 17 seconds. He's making villagers every...
Oh, he did his funny thing.
And he's making villagers every 20 seconds. So, like, he's not making that much. And I think he maybe missed 1 or 2 when you raided. So, like, he is way behind you economically. That's the thing you have to remember. When you're getting raided and you've gone 2TC, and you've been 2TC the entire time he's 1TC, you have an economic lead. You can afford to lose a few villagers. It's okay. Don't get hung up by it. Just play fundamentally strong. You need to push back, build walls. Your next goal should have been, I get spears and I get wall here. Like, this had to happen. And then I get wall here. And then I just work my wall up. And I just slowly get it up. And I get Arbitraire, so that if he's running around, I can poke the knights before he gets out. Because right now he's just free ranging on you, but it's not bad. You're okay. Now this is the moment though where you look at resources and what do you need? You need gold because you need castle upgrades. You need Arbitraire. You need your own knights. Like really, if you had just built feudal knights, you would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like yes, spearmen are nice, but you wasted time getting out of barracks and then you lost all this wood because you panic built 1 barracks with 13 villagers. Let's compare the stats here. Do you have a knight that's alive? Your knight's 190 with 3 armor, 3 armor, and 19 damage, plus 2. He has 230 with 5, 5, and 24. Yes, he will win, but it'll take a minute. And your charge damage will still do damage. So if you just built knights and arbitrary, you would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have bought me enough time.
Yeah.
You said, yeah.
And hard switching and doing as many... Yeah, bought you time and doing as many spearmen as you did was what he wanted. He forced you into a different unit that is just going to benefit him. On the backside, when you find yourself straggling like this, make adjustments. You have a bunch of food villagers here that could be on gold right now.
Ah, yeah.
Because you have enough food. You have food coming in here. You have 600 food. We're talking about immediate need. You should have just gone on this gold immediately. But this is once again why a TC here would have been so big. Because then you're just gathering straight gold when you need it. So he's killing vills, but once again, no big deal. The biggest thing is, what can't happen is that you lose the, like, villagers you can remake at pretty quickly. What you can't lose is your military units that are popping out. They have to live. So I would have rallied them all here behind the TC. Because one thing you have to consider, he can't see anything. Let's look at his point of view. He can't see anything.
Oh, right, yeah.
So one thing you could have done is just run villagers to corners. You want to... The key to defending is you want to avoid taking a fight until you can win it. Losing out on units as stragglers is just going to delay you pushing back in this game. So you should have rallied them all together, because even Dark Age Spearmen, a couple Dark Age Spearmen with 2 Arbitrarie, is easily taking out these Mounted Samurai. But you keep running them into the death pit, and they die. Which can't happen. No. So a key tenet to defense, wall up early, mass units, and mass them together. Okay? And this is another thing where the spearmen kind of help because you only have wood and food, but you only have wood and food because you didn't switch over to resources when you had the chance. He raids this, which sucks, but once again, 56 villagers, 37 villagers. You're fine. You're fine. Okay, now you're massing up.
Nail that down in my head.
Yeah.
But it is fine still.
Yeah, you're fine.
I could lose 10 and still be ahead.
And you will then get back ahead again because you're on double TC, and he's not. And you can tell he's not because he's still making knights. Like, if he had cut production all of a sudden and you haven't seen anything in a minute, then you might go, ooh, he might be 2 TC. How do we check that? You run your scout to his stone, and, oh, it's still 1,200. Nope, he's not 2 TC. I'm fine. I just need to stabilize. The key here is stabilize. When you're being raided and you have units everywhere, but you have the bigger eco, you just mass and stabilize, and you just keep warding off his attacks until you kill the bunch, and then you cut off section by section. So this is the moment where you needed to cut off this section. This had to be protected.
Yeah.
And then you work here, and then you work here, and you just work your way around. He's still raiding. It's fine. But see, backside, boom. He comes from 2 different sides. Once again, he actually doesn't have that many units. You would win this. You need more arbitrarie, but you'd be fine. But they can come from 2 different directions. You chase them off, and this moment of the chase off is when you had to build this wall here. Like, when you actually get them pushed back, you should have grabbed these 4 villas and just built a wall. And then you're building arbitrarie and rallying them here, and more spearmen here. And you will kill these once you get the spearmen out. It's fine. You're fine. Once again, you let them come out 1 at a time. That sucks.
Yeah.
Remember, he can't see. Rally them into a spot, but you never wall here, so he's going to come back here again. And you notice what he's doing? He's walling, because he's actually anticipating the fact that at some point you're going to push him back, and then you could re-raid him. So he's walling up while he has the chance. Unfortunately, you can't wall a trade site, so that's actually open. But it's the thought that counts. So you finally push him off, and here's our next key moment, which is you don't know who he's switching to right now. There's, well, we need hard data, but you can also guess something. So 1, this is why I wish you had built another stable. because getting a scout out right now is huge. So if you don't have another stable, you need to make knights. So that's fine. But you need to reevaluate resources. I have a shit ton of food. I do not need food right now. I can take half of these and pull them off and put them on gold or wood right now. I desperately need other resources. 1. 2, I need to know what's happening. So I need to build a scout and go check. Even if that scout dies, if I can get a peek at what his military is, that'd be awesome. But I'm also checking for a second TC. 3, I need to set up, I need to protect myself. I need to secure myself. So walls. If these villagers over here would have been great if they walled here and here and here early on, just so that's protected right now. So that's all well and good. But while you're waiting for the scout, you could probably take a hankering what he's going to make now. He's either going to make samurai or archers. Right? Because you've massed spearmen. So you need to make arbitrary, which is good. They will kill men at arms. They will kill knights. And then you need to get out your own knights and cut spearman production. Because either way, spearman's not going to work anymore. They're gone. Unfortunately, you overinvested in these barracks. You have way too many. But just cut production. It's not going to be worth it anymore.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better way. I ended up making men-at-arms, and then I thought, you know what, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yes, because his knights beat your men-at-arms.
Yeah.
He's going to make those cavalry expos that they have, which beat your men-at-arms.
Yeah. Exactly.
So either way, you're creating the thing that's already countering him. Like you've countered yourself.
Yeah.
But just get shit ton of arbitrary. They're so good.
Just take the 400 wood loss and just yeah.
So then you run these spearmen over here to check. It's like, don't check, just build a wall. And then he comes with his push. Now here's the next key tactic of defense. I kind of mentioned this earlier. Do not take a fight until you're sure you can win it. You want to delay. How do we delay? 1, 2 knights in his backline, because at this point he should be out of his base, right? So he's still working this wood line in here. He's finished up this gold, but you could send a knight in here or a knight in here, and he will have to come back and stop you. Or he'll feel like he was. A lot of times people will overreact to that. But 2 knights in his back line here changes his mind pretty quickly. It might at least, people will do things in panic. He might click all, like, half of his knights to go chase your 1 knight. Something dumb like that. But you wait that. So you buy yourself time. 2, another thing you could do is wall here, gate here, and cut off reinforcements, because he's coming through here. So if you send a group of spears up here, you could cut off reinforcements. But most importantly, you just mass and wait. Because once again, the theory is you have a bigger eco. So if you just wait, the longer you wait, the more units you will have than him.
Okay, and what can I let go while I wait? Like what is he torching when I have to say, okay, you know what, now is now.
If he drops rams and walks in, or if he actually dives into TC protect, like if he dives into TC protection onto these vills, run them away, and then you try to like poke, but you keep running. So like run villagers away, and you change your rally spot to here, and then these villagers take the left flank, and when he turns, you run away. You garrison your TC, and your TC's just firing him. And if you have the APM, you have your TCs, you shift and click on all his archers. Because your TCs aren't going to do shit to his samurai, but they are going to do shit to his archers. So,
right.
And you just live under this TC fire. The best move is if you can get him here, because then both TCs are opening up on him. And the key is you're just running villagers around, and you're still massing units, and you keep trying to run into him, but then running away when he turns to fully take you on. And you will be amazed at how quickly his army starts to fall. But what you can't do is take a fight outside of TC range, and you can't take it if you don't need to take it. So if he's burning down the guild hall, fuck it. Like, you're not dying. If he chases you off and starts burning these down, that kind of sucks, but you can build more back here. Like, unless he is jumping on a large amount of villagers or actually attacking your TC, you wait. Because watch what happens. This force cannot beat this force. These aren't even veteran spearmen. But you keep making them. Yeah. You've been great here, a bunch of knights, because these archers won't do shit to them. But you walk out. Let's watch slow motion. You walk out, and so you lose spearmen to the archers. But think what happens here. He separates his knights from his archers. If you had just followed his knights, if his archers walk in, you just garrison your TC and they die. If his knights come around, you just shadow him, and when he dives, you just walk in on him.
Yeah, actually, it could have been. Yeah, it could have been one.
You even lose this knight, which is the right move. But if you have 4 knights, these guys die. Like, just wait. Just wait.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had this actually. Like, I don't believe the score of the game a lot, but I agree with it here, in which you have 77 vills. He has 53. He has 34 military. You have 27. Which a lot of those are feudal spears, which you could upgrade. But your resources, look, your resources are coming back in. You drop another stable, you drop another archery range, and you're just pumping units, and you wait. Instead, you take this fight. His archers open up on your spearmen. Your spearmen are now fighting archers. Your arbitrary are shooting archers. So one thing that's key is you have to decide kind of sometimes what's the one unit you have to micro. First, you have to micro spears out of the fight. 2, you have to micro arbitrary to focus on armored cavalry, because they will melt these and they'll do okay against archers. But you stop, your arbitrary then get attacked, and now you're losing units. And your TC's not even doing anything because you haven't garrisoned your TC. And your army just wipes. And so, if you had just waited, you would have won that fight. I'll promise you. You had so many units coming in.
I totally see it. See it.
Yeah, you see it. And then he runs in, and this is once again, he can't actually kill you. Like, a question I have to ask myself a lot is, am I gonna die here? Can 4 knights and 10 archers kill you? No, they can do a lot of damage, but just run, wait it out, get your units out. You already have a bunch of units in queue. Keep calm, carry on. This was a cool Wowolo because he overreacted to it. It bought you some time. You then garrison your TC and his archers melt. Literally, they go away.
They're already gone.
They're gone. And this is once again a time where you go, I'm alive. I've killed his entire invading force. I just need to secure and build. You are ahead. You're not ahead in military. And a mistake I have made 1,000 times, and that you're about to make here, is I've beaten back his force. I have to attack right now.
Yep, that was exactly what I thought.
Attack with what? You don't have anything. If you had built up a force and then wasted him, and you have like 8 knights and 12 arbitrary, then yeah, fucking go for it. But you have 4 arbitrary and 3 men at arms. You secure wall, fix this wall. And then you just rally. Because once again, as long as you are making... You lost villager production, but that was a pretty intense fight. So get villager production back up. You're at 78 vills. He's at 57. Once again, you wouldn't know that specifically, but you should have a feeling he didn't actually kill that many villagers. I'm fine. And you just build up units. Because here's what happens. You're going to walk out. And you have to expect, if he is being aggressive, he has more military here. He just didn't send them forward. Because once again, people make mistakes. He probably was building military the entire time, but rallied them here. And lo and behold, here they are. And you're going to walk right into them. And you actually kill a few before he realizes. You then run back, which is the right move. You sacrifice those 4 villagers. God bless their souls. But once again, why are you taking this fight? Like, why are you running in on this? You have 2 knights and a bunch of arbitrary. Like, it's once again, we might have talked about this last session, but it's always better to take your time and make the right decision slowly than a bunch of wrong decisions quickly. At that point, you have to be here and go, can I win this fight? No, and then run. And then you run. But once again, you're not dead. You're still not dead. You're still in a great spot. You're honestly still in a great spot. You have 3 arbitrary hiding in the TC. But you still have a safe gold. And then, ooh, that was key. You saw him switch to these Anamusha. What do you think is their counter?
Just more archers, more arbitrary.
Yeah, just get... And that's it. Archers would do extra damage against them. Well, it's a cavalry, so they wouldn't. But just a lot of arbitrary would be fine. Honestly, just a lot of arbitrary. Or maybe like 1 or 2 Mangonels. Which you're already building one. So, if you build all these units and wait, you are fine. In fact, you've taken the lead according to the game. and then you just walk right into him before your counters are ready.
Yeah.
And then you quit for no reason. You have a keep up. You're fine. But I understand you're frustrated, and you're like, fuck this. If I was him, I was probably like, wow, why did I win?
Yeah, he was probably sweating. We chatted a little bit after sending a message. I asked him if he was 2TC. He said no. I was 1. I was like, oh damn it! I shouldn't have said that.
Curses, but like,
yeah.
So it is. So a few things I want to like summarize from that we talked about. One, the branching path decision making of if I've gone 2TC and I see he's going fast castle, I either hard feudal and go, and you have to commit, or I defend and I set up my defenses. I get up my walls. If you can't get up full protection, at least a funnel point. And then you're making the counters that you can while you're aging up. You don't want to overmass, but get up a few units to defend. So you should guess they're going to go castle. I mean, they're going to make knights. So you could have just made feudal knights, but anyone else would make like spears.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're prepping for the switch. So you get like 2 or 3 archer rangers up. So when you hit castle, you're immediately making crossbows. And then you just wait until your eco pays off and you have a huge mass, and then you walk out and you beat them. A cool thing to do during that time is buying time. So like raiding, or just sending a unit here and there into his backline so he turns and buys you time. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Were you about to ask a question or say something?
No, it's just sort of funny seeing it played back because like I go the 2TC so I can do exactly as you said, like, absorb it and then outgrow him a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then he pushed my buttons so many times that I just sort of forgot that. I was just straight back to the I gotta go.
And that's something interesting about the aggressive playstyle like that is that
mm-hmm.
while you can measure some of its value in like the villagers killed or the relics gathered, a huge value to it is can you mentally unseat your opponent? It's hard to measure.
Yeah, for real.
But any aggressive strategy, one part of that aggressive strategy is making you feel like you're losing and off kilter and you give up. Which is why one of the goals is don't quit unless you're actually like dying. Like your TC's being attacked, you have no units, your economy's in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna watch this one as well, which the same thing happens, but different. There's different ways you could have handled it. Because his fast castle is different. His strategy is different than the fast castle from Japanese. Well, he does want a fast castle, get relics and stuff. Once again, let's see how the decision-making pathway here. I'm gonna check my notes while the start of here is happening.
Yeah, let me pull mine up too. I was working with a bit. I haven't seen a UBITS very much, so I had a bit of a deficit of information on what they do, but sort of learned as I went.
What do you think about them now after watching this game?
After this game, and then a couple games after this, I played a UBITS again. It seems like Camel Lancers are the usual thing. Camel Lancers and Ghouloms.
Yeah. So this and Abyssin are the one civ that you might not make knights against.
Really? Okay.
Because his Camel Lancers will rip your knights apart.
Yeah, I was feeling that for sure.
And the camels make your knights weaker. And so I have seen in French versus Abyssin matchups, I have seen French players like make men-at-arms. Because it's like all that's happening is your knights are just getting into a meat grinder and dying.
Yeah, they're way too expensive for that. I can't afford it.
And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean you don't like make some early on. They're great raiding and feudal. But once you hit that castle, it's actually okay to go, all right, I'm just going all in on men-at-arms and Arbalétrier. Or like spears and Arbalétrier and siege. Because your knights are going to hold up. This is also a scouting moment where you see gold, 2 golds. I've never seen this shit. This is wild. But his gold and his berries are right next to each other, as well as his second deer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also a moment where you're scouting and you're thinking about doing your 2TC, and you see this. This is like, oh no, this is feudal pressure.
Yeah.
Because you would have seen that before you actually aged up and went stone. Because like, and this is once again cliffside, such a small map. It's actually okay to run in and check your opponent's resources and then make a decision. If his like berries over here and his gold's right here, it's like, and he has another gold down here. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna go 2TC and see if I can edge it out. But like, this you
That's
get on
prime
this,
material.
you
Yeah.
get on this, you drop a tower here. Like he literally has nothing. He loses his main food, loses his main gold. You're basically stopping his other golds because you're right here. You're stopping this one because you're coming through here to
They're
get to
all on
here.
the same side. Wow.
And all he has is this berries, which you could send one knight here and just sit here. And he's literally dead. He has nothing left. Or you at least force him to fight feudal, which you will win eventually. You have better eco than him. But an important thing to know about the Ayubids is the current meta build, which is what he's going to do. He does it a little differently because he does economic wing, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But usually what they do is they'll open up reinforcements and they'll get out a couple desert raiders for free and they'll raid you and they'll pull you back to your base and then they'll do this culture wing, which is a very cheap castle and it's faster too. And their goal is they then drop 2 to 3 barracks or 2 to 3 stables and they rush castle units at you. And their goal is you aren't able to beat back that first wave and you get frustrated and flustered and they win. Because if you can beat back that initial wave, you have them. Because their eco, once again, isn't that great. Outside of berries, they don't really have much extras. Especially because they go all in on a quick age up and military. They get none of their eco bonuses. And so that's your... If you can push them back, that initial wave, and survive that initial wave and mass up, you win.
Right, yeah.
But it's surviving that initial push. So you, if you had gone 1 TC push, you could have cut off that fast castle completely because really you and English are the two civs best to do that because you get a landmark that allows you to make powerful units instantly.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm playing Order of the Dragon, I can't really stop their fast castle because I have to age up and I have to drop a barracks or a stable and then I have to make a unit. And usually there are desert raiders in my base by then, so I can't even leave. I have to take care of that. But you have the ability to stop it because since you have a landmark that allows you to make military units quickly, you have the best chance to stop it. So that's a strategy you can take if you want. And I say that because, once again, they are a fast castle civ, and it's worth getting them off their game. Because a lot of these Ayubid players at your level have probably only done this fast castle build. So if you push them off of it, they'll probably
They're there
struggle.
in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one small thing here is you have to watch. This one night is so important. You have to be on it when you go in. What it looked like there is that you sent it in, went back to your base. I meant to watch it from your view, so I apologize. But because you followed him all the way to the TC and you took so much damage, if you had just sat here, he can't come back. Look at the TC range.
Ooh, yeah, he can't even get his gold.
So if you had pushed him off that goal and then sat here, you've basically done it. He would have then had to rush up a tower, or he was already making spears, so he had to get spears out. Then you could have done a little do-si-do, where you just kind of ran around and kept hitting. Because if his spear chases you, you just circle him, and then you hit another, and then you just keep doing that again and again. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't stop his fast castle, but that very much slows it. So one thing I always suggest is, on these early game raiding, you do a back and forth structure. I am watching my knight, I hit, I run, I then go back to my TC, I do all my eco stuff, I go back to my knight, and I heavily macro it again, because this knight's value is so very high. You then now... This is where you drop the TC on the stone, and once again, look at this. Boar, deer, wood. You even kind of cut off this berries. If you place it here, you kind of cut off
yeah,
these
it's
berries.
sort of wallable with a little triple forest.
Or even if you do here, boom, wall, and you're good. There's no special gold like last time, but this is so close to this gold that you're basically there. So it's like, take advantage of that if you're going to do 2 TC. Great timings on this. And once again, if you had just pushed this, he gets up a tower, but if you built some archers, you could have shot him off the wood line. You could have done some stuff. But it's, once again, it's a fork in the road moment. Do I do feudal pressure or do I just rush castle? No harm in rushing castle. You lost your second scout, your poor scouts. But same as last time, if you wall here, and here, you're fine. They still get to your base, but they take forever. They have to run all the way around here, or they take time burning it down. You put a tower here, which I'm kind of confused about.
I just wanted peace of mind, like see a little farther.
I wanted to feel safe. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's actually, in my opinion, worth it to make 1 or 2 more knights. 1 knight to cover this side's gold, this knight to cover this side's, because he wants to get the relics immediately. So cover the relics a little bit. But you actually try to feudal pressure here a little bit. But you can't get it because his castle is so fast. It's so fast.
I was surprised how fast it came. I didn't know they had a 500 gold cheaper one.
Oh yeah, it's not 500 gold cheaper. It is 30% cheaper and 30% faster. So remember,
it's faster as well.
Yeah, the key thing, and you played Abbasids, you understand this, is that one of the sneaky like bonuses they have is they don't have to put villagers to age ups.
Yeah, I missed that.
He ages up with resources. That's what's hard. That's what's also hard about this. The Japanese player had to put villagers and drop his castle, which slowed down his advancement. He can macro to get Gulams out immediately because he doesn't have to actually, do anything. Which is why fighting this is important. Keeping him off gold even while he ages up to slow down his Gulam production is a big deal. But since once again you don't wall, you can't stop him. And the second he gets out Gulams, these archers are dead. So.
Are those the Camel Lancers, or is that the...
That's the Lancer, yeah.
Later?
So watch the effect here. It causes you to have 20% less damage. They don't do extra damage against cavalry, unlike the Abbasid one does.
Oh, actually? Oh, okay.
The Abbasid one does extra damage against cavalry.
Right. I just assumed it was like the same unit.
It's not. It's different. But it still will hold its own. Because you can run knights into it, but like they're gonna get crossbows. They're gonna get.
So this is sort of just like an actual knight, but with the camel debuff.
Yep.
Okay.
And they have this tactical charge where the longer they charge, the more damage they do.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, interesting.
But anyway, that's why it's like I'm actually okay with you the second you hit castle dropping 2 archer ranges, 2 barracks, and just running spears and.
Arbs,
Arbitraire, because his Gulams are so good. You need a massive Arbitraire quickly. Your men-at-arms will hold up against Gulams. And here's this fun part. If he just drops the camels completely and goes just Gulams and his own crossbows or his own archers, then you make knights in the back and then hit him with a knight push, and then that's how you can win the game.
Oh, like a secret knight production sort of thing?
Yes. Like, one of the best ways to win these games is timing the change in units perfectly. So if you go castle and you're going archers, men-at-arms, and not archers, men-at-arms, arbitraire, and spears, and you fight that, and you guys skirmish a couple of times, and he goes, you see him, he's just Gulams, he is just, and he drops the camels because of the spears. Then you drop a stable back here, and you make 6 or 7 knights back here, and you don't use them until you have a mass, and the next fight, boom, you bring him in, and you wipe him.
That's cool.
I've seen that with you'll see pro players do this when they're running spear archer or spear or in feudal or spear crossbow in castle, and then they've kind of reached a stalemate. They'll drop 4 stables in the back and make horsemen, and then all of a sudden the next fight their horsemen are coming in and they wipe their enemies' archers, and then they snowball that into a win. I do like this though. Keeping this little low knight back here.
I remembered that specifically from the first session. Yeah,
yep.
That was your influence.
Okay, so now here's what you do that's really good though. You act. Rest in peace, Third Scout. You are gonna send these 2 knights back here, and this is the delay part. That's huge. You didn't use that to you need to use that to stabilize yourself and set up a defense. But watch what happens. He's building up a force here. You send these 2 knights around back. He actually goes straight into farms, which is actually a huge waste. But you push off his initial priest. I don't remember the name for it. And then he sends his whole force after you. Look at this. That's almost everything. Yeah, he has nothing left. He's chasing you with all of that. So you have bought yourself time. And you notice it's not a massive force. His economy isn't amazing. Look how much you're out gathering. You're getting double the food compared to him, double the gold. All you need to do is live and solidify. He is running these lancers around the side because now what he has to do, he knows you went to UTC, so he knows he has to do economic damage to you, which is why walling up is even more important, because if you can just prevent economic damage, you will destroy him. But you have to survive, and he's gonna raid you to absolute death. I like how you pulled the wood villagers to upgrade because you need food and gold when you hit castle. You've been really good about making villagers this whole time, so shouts to you.
My one great strength.
You run these guys out. I think this is really smart, especially when you have such an eco lead. Like, losing a few villagers matters less. You're still trying to raid, and you're still slowing him down. See, he's still chasing you. So you've bought yourself so much time. This is risky as hell, because he's, like, right here. But if you wall, you live, in my opinion. Because then you have time to get out Arbitraire. You need
yeah, I'm not sure why I just don't wall. It seems so clear here, but I guess
it's in the moment thinking.
Yeah.
You got pushed off here, and then when I saw this is your hint to back up, which you do. Actually, might just be chasing the raid, but this is your chance. You see this, and you can be like, you can just scroll over and go, oh, 11 Ghulams, and he has Camel Lancers and Spears. Yeah, I need a different front line than Knights. This isn't gonna hold. But no, just watch. His raids are gonna kill you. His raids are gonna be so awful.
These raids were really
and he has a pretty tight control. He gets them out of there pretty regularly. But just once again, compare the stats. You're now doing 21 damage. You're 5-4. He's 4-4, and he does 23 damage. And he only has 20 less health than you. Like, they will hold up.
Yeah, and they did.
But once again, good news. Can he kill you with this?
Not quite. It's
Not
gonna be
quite.
painful.
Once again, in these situations, it's helpful if you're just one. I like that your Arbitraire is just back here, just like chilling behind the TC. You need to get your knights back to you, but in the moment, click on a TC, shift, and just click on all the weak units that you can see. It's minor, but it helps. Like getting rid of the spearmen for your knights would be really, really big here. Because then your knights will do pretty well against Ghulams. Focusing down as well.
I never even really considered microing the TC damage,
Yeah,
but that could be game changing in some of these tight fights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you just want to get rid. You want to get rid of the spears. You want to get rid of the camels, and then your knights can take care of the Ghulams. But look, he has to run away. He can't stay here. But if this wall was here from the start, or actually, the more important wall is the side walls to stop the raid. Because if there's a wall here, he would have busted through that pretty quickly with this. But the side walls to stop the Camel Lancers, that's the one that would have been your big ticket. Because he came from down here. If this wall was here, he's stuck. Because you never quite get rid of all his Camel Lancers. And he keeps sending more. But, like, this is just so wide open. And it's really harming you. But once again, you push out too early.
Yeah, it's that sort of instinctive, just like, oh, okay, I win, air quotes, now I must go fight. And then they would,
yeah. That only works if your opponent stops making units and you're in plat now. Like, that happens in silver and sometimes gold, but, like, not anymore. This is just living on the edge. Face to face. You even purposely keep your best unit, your Arbitraire, backwards. Just to tempt them in. Now, what's actually on your side is that he went farm super early, which has cost him wood. And this is why he's probably pretty slow, is that he did this farm transition. He was scared. He didn't go on these berries. He didn't go on these berries because he was afraid of raids. And you do just have 3 knights back here chilling, which a knight raid would have been really helpful here once again.
I sort of forgot they were there.
You did.
I was hoping they would auto kill whatever came to get the
and they would
for farms.
But he played super passive, which bought you time. But then, now that his farms are up, you got to raid him. And it's all about, it's this defensive cycle of raid, secure, let my eco take over, mass up, get my counters, and I win. And once again, you're at 74 villagers. He's at 47.
Oof, yeah, my mind is so skewed about how many more villas you get with 2TC.
Yeah,
after, like,
especially as French. Because you make quick.
Yeah, I think I have to be like the 25-minute mark or something to have a difference like that. But
nope. And you even have technically more military, but you don't have the counters. He has your counters, you don't have his. I would sacrifice your archers literally here. I would just leave your archers out and run in, because you don't need those archers anymore.
Yeah, they're basically doing nothing here.
And that's actually a key thing is that, let's say you had been doing feudal pressure and hit the castle. It's actually okay just to walk your archers in and just target fire villagers, because you know he's gonna make Gulams and Camel Lancers. You're not gonna need archers anymore. Like, they ain't gonna do shit. So, but once again, you're actually, according to the game, way up. Your resources are insane. You just need gold, but you're great. And these Camel Lancer Razor is gonna bug you out here, because once again, he's not even doing an amazing job at them. Like, he could be all in your shit right now. You get up a key.
Yeah, that's the crazy part to me too, watching it back. These weren't even spectacular raids. I could have been totally hamstrung.
And look how much he's overreacting. Whenever a knight comes in, he just sends everything. Every time. You brought those knights in, they die. You send your vills up, which is smart. If you notice he's being very passive with his resources, just go take them. It works out.
Yeah.
More times than not. This keep was really helpful, but here's what you should have done. The second you've established your safe zone, especially if you don't have walls up, everything should be concentrated under the safe zone. So if you need to make farms, build farms right here, even if they're bad farms. Like, this is now your safe zone. So if you set up a keep and a couple towers, that's your safe zone. Everything needs to be in your safe zone. If you got Springald attachments on these towers, you're fine. Because Springalds would have destroyed these Camel Lancers. Yeah. So just something so that you're not... Even if you had just sent 4 spears to just sit here with these guys, like 2 spears, like even if you don't have time to wall, 2 spears wherever your villagers go would have done the work too. But you're also gonna start making farms like in the open. But look how much he's idled you now. He's idled you on 44 gold villagers, and you still keep trying to push, which is wild to me.
Yeah, I think my brain is officially broken at this point.
And that's once again
this is brain damage now.
Where you need to stop.
Yeah.
And one of your goals is you need to stop and go, what is my move? I need gold. Oh shit, I'm standing here with no gold. Do I need to take this fight? No. Like, as long as I sit, my ego will grow. I need to protect.
Question. So if I do that process and I come, is there a moment where I can evaluate it? Like, how do I know? Like, maybe what's the evaluation process? I guess because like maybe I did do that, and then I came to the conclusion. Okay, time to make rams and push.
Well, then you need to ask yourself, why do you think that? Like, why did you think rams was? And that's why I'm a big advocate of doing this out loud to yourself almost, because then you've signposted in your mind. You've gone like, and then when you lose, you can go back and say, well, I asked myself, I thought rams was the right idea. Why was it not the right idea? Oh, because he had mangonels and he still had my counters. Okay, why did I never make my own men at arms? Why did I never? Well, maybe I should scout next time. And that's how you learn that. Is that then all of a sudden you're like, okay, what should I do? Well, last time I got ripped apart by mangonels, maybe I should send one guy forward and check, because I don't have a scout. Oh, it's mangonels? Yeah, I'm backing the fuck up. And I'm making Springalds. So that's why you have to practice the evaluation process, and then if it fails, you actually have a very clear thing to check and replay.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could do it, if there's a way to do it in game, but I think really you just have to do it for the next game. Because I mean, unless they're not good enough to let me come back from a triple ram failed push sort of thing, I guess. Which doesn't really happen anymore at the CLO.
What do you mean by you don't have time to do it in the game?
Like if I I could realize, okay, the ram idea isn't working, I'll just try a different strat, but I might not survive a huge investment like that, and then...
Yeah. A huge investment all in push, that's going to require you to just go back and look and then decide that next time you're in a similar situation. But really, I'm talking more about the mundane evaluation, where regularly you're just like, you're taking a second to pause and going, what am I doing right now? Because sometimes you realize, I haven't even made a conscious decision in 5 minutes. I've just been reacting. And you need to start making conscious decisions. But you have to actually stop yourself and go, okay, how am I looking? I have a lot of food. I need wood. I have a good amount of units. I need to just secure. I keep getting raided. So my next goal is to secure myself to stop raids. Because that's the thing that's getting you. Because then this is causing you to overextend because you feel like you have to do damage now. You're making farms at the front instead of near, like, you're just making, like, these farms should be back here, and a keep back here would be really nice. And then you walk in, and really, honestly, the second the first 2 Magma Mill shots hit, you run.
Yep.
Like, you get out.
I'm choosing this.
You're like,
it's
nope,
insane.
I'm fighting this. This is the fight I want to take. And it almost feels like you just sat here and went, yeah, you did. I'm watching your...
Yeah.
You just sat here and went, fuck. But here, once again, what do you need to do? You need to go back to your safe spot.
Look down and see my own castle and think, I should have fought under that thing.
Yeah,
huh?
run back to your castle. Build your counters, because you're making archers. Why are we making and you're making horsemen? Why are we making horsemen? Like, this screams desperation, hyper reactivity, instead of calculated decision making. According to the game, you went from up 400 points to down 400 points in that one move. So yeah. And then he's just gonna mass up and walk in and kill you because you never make the counters and you lose. Yeah. But that's all our time. I'll put your goals in the Discord for you. But I mean, overall, we're keeping the don't quit. 2 is absolutely. Macro cycle. And I'm gonna add a little thing where move to resources you need earlier and anticipate the next need. So if you have a bunch of food, you should realize I've used a lot of my pocket resources. I need to start soft farm transitioning, because the worst farm transition is when you're completely out of pocket resources and now you're farm transitioning 40 vills at the same time. Like when you get to all the deer, the first deer pack that runs out, they make farms. And the next deer pack that runs out, they make farms, and that's how you kind of like rotate into a farm transition. The third goal would be changing plans based on opponent and map. So we just did this for Cliffside. As you're playing other maps, as you're playing against Civs, and you notice this 2TC, it might be working, but it's really hard. I should reevaluate. Is there a better way to do this matchup? And then lastly, defensive fundamentals. If your opponent is fast castling, or maybe they are aggressive pushing you on your 2TCs, you need to build counters, secure your space, stay in your base, and not engage until you've let your eco get you a better force, or he's like absolutely hard pushing, you have to fight. But then you avoid. You avoid taking the fight, avoid as long as possible. You absolutely have to. And then when you push your opponent back, do not walk out. Secure your borders, set up resources, scout, and raid, and then walk in. Which is why having scouts is always really good. If you beat your opponent and then you run your scout up and he has no units, oh fuck yeah, go. But like, don't assume.
Yeah, I had this. I'm excited to implement that new sort of defense strat, because the way I thought about it before was hit it as soon as possible, make his force as small as it can be before it gets to where my vills are, so it'll do less damage. That was my thinking, but no, just kill it decisively altogether under the TC.
The way I remember, once you have wheelbarrow on your villagers, they're just as fast as most military units. So like what you'll often see a lot of high-level players do, they'll just run. They don't just auto. They'll garrison enough to use in the TC, but they'll just run the others around. Because unless he has a scout, he can't see where they're going, and that's why you often see high-level players target the scout first. Because the second they don't have a scout, their attack and their raids become way less effective.
Yeah, when you switched the camera view for me, that was really sort of eye-opening too, because I'm never really the one diving in, so I didn't even think about, he can't see any of this stuff.
Yeah, and that's when watching replays, it's actually helpful to watching from your opponent's point of view. How do they react to what you're doing? What do they see when they're doing something, and what resources they have? Because that's eye-opening to me. Because I went through the same process. I used to always over-assume what my opponent had and underassume what I had. And once I started watching replays and watching from their point of view, I realized, they really had nothing. I just overreacted. And that's where I was like, I need to scout better. And that's where like a lot of this stuff starts to come from.
Yeah.
All right, man.
I just because I'm too like emotionally into it, I guess. I started with never watching my replays from my perspective. Whenever I'd watch my wins, then I'd watch the losing perspective of my opponent, and then try to fix his game. And that's how I learned to do the replay watching. That way, there's no emotional connection to it.
Oh yeah, if I have a bunch of losses that night, I'll watch them the next day.
Yeah, that's a better way to do it.
Because if I'm watching the moment, I'll be like, ah, fuck. But like the next day, I'm like, oh, okay, like yeah, I should have done this differently. I can be a lot more logical about it.